Today we're going to go over how to break down a tenderloin. It can be intimidating because they're expensive, but they're really not much more money than a New York strip or ribeye that people whack on the grill. So you do see it with, sometimes it has a big fat cap on it. This is just silver skin. I'll show you how to do that, and then we're going to tie it and talk about the different things you can do with the head, the tail, and obviously the center cut. We'll go over that today and how to tie it up, how to spank it once it's tied up, how to stay sane and consensual with the tied up meat so that the meat gets what it needs to feel satisfied. That's
all right. Voiceover time. I sped these clips up to 200% just to make them a little bit easier, and there's going to be some strange didgeridoo music that I found joining us shortly. What I just took off was the chain. A lot of this stuff you can feel the seams. You can peel it back by your hands. You can push it back with your fingers and work the knife in just to get stuff out. This is called silver skin, and you want to kind of get underneath it and tilt your knife up against it, and that way you just take the silver skin off and leave the meat. You can also pull it off, but it looks pretty ratty. I think this looks a bit better. So I kind of do one side of the tenderloin, just taking anything off that's fat, connective tissue, silver skin, and then I'll flip the whole tenderloin around and do the other side that way. I just find it easier. That was a breakfast order, doing breakfast. So this is, even though I'm sped it up, I'm doing this as fast as I can because, well, I got breakfast orders to do. Yeah, there's more silver skin to come off. It's starting to clean up a little bit. And you just want to go and look for any kind of parts that are still lingering. It will end up cleaning up quite nicely, and there won't be any fat or white or silver. And the bottom is kind of, you just clean it up a little bit. There's fatty parts, but the stuff melts away anyway. It's not that big of a deal. If you don't clean it up, it's not the end of the world. Just trying to make it look nice. This ends up, I actually tie this all up, and I have to untie it and then cut it into steaks later. So there's no finished product to show you, unfortunately. So this is just finishing up the last kind of ends, and now we're going to tie a little noose. This is around the head, so I like to start I think kind of have to start at the head. And you'll see I kind of just loop it around and just kind of go down the rest of the tenderloin like this. If you wanted to, you can keep your loops a lot closer to keep it more uniform, but the reason we're tying it up is that it just keeps the shape as uniform and the size as uniform as possible, so that it basically roasts, sears to the same temperature degree. That's not always true. Usually the head is a little bit raw, and you want to be careful and cook the center cut perfectly. That's the nicest cut. It looks the nicest on a plate. And so this is just a way to sort of get it to do what you want. And then at the end, because the tail's so thin, you just tuck it up and put your loop around that, tie that off with a knot, and finish it. And you keep each loop pretty tight. And you can do more loops if you really want it round. Or, like I talked about earlier, you can also just cut off the tail, cut off the head, and just cook those separately. It's almost easier that way, I think.
This is just a really basic tie on how to tie a tenderloin. This is the head, this is the tail. So all we've done is just tuck the tail up, and that way it's kind of, it just cooks a lot more evenly. We'll want to probe here, because this is the center cut. Head, tail, center cut. This is the most valuable cut of the tenderloin, but it's perfectly round, and so we're basically, this is the part we concentrate on. We can finish this off later if we need to. In the tail, we can do whatever. You can also cut these off in the beginning and then use them for other things. Really tender, there's nothing wrong with them. There's just a different thickness than the rest of them. And, this is the chain, so I'm busy cleaning this up now. This is kind of the first thing that I pulled off, and there's a lot of good meat still in here. But I'll continue cleaning that. These are all the scraps. I'm gonna put this in basically like just under a simmer, and I'm gonna make a stock from all this stuff. all the connective tissue and fat. It's going to make a really nice stock that a lot of people just throw out. So that's it for now. We're going to season this. Well, that's not it for now, actually. We're going to season this. The more ahead of time you can get seasoning, flavoring into your meat, and then the salt crystals get a chance to dissolve and then dissipate throughout the meat and give it flavor and season it. The more ahead of time you can do that, the better. Just taste the seasoning can go all the way into the meat. So I think we're just going to do salt, pepper, and olive oil just for now, just to keep it super basic, because that's what I have to do right now, is keep things super basic.
That's it for the quarantine kitchen tip on beef tenderloin. If you do decide to tackle beef tenderloin, just send me a DM and I'll try to help you get through it. The first one will be weird, second one will be less weird, third one will be easy. Promise. Great steaks, and I hope it helps.